2019 Higher Level Junior Cert Materials Technology Wood Exam Paper. Name the woodworking tool shown. This is called a marking gauge. Give one specific use for this tool. Mark lines parallel to surface or mark out joints. Question 2. Name the edge molding. That's what we call a chamfer. Identify one appropriate method of applying this edge molding. You'll either use a block planer or a router. Question 3. Name the hinge type. That's what we call a rising butt hinge. Why would we use the specific type of hinge? It's a self-closing mechanism of doors. Question 4. Name the tool shown. This is what we call a pinchers. Give one specific use for this tool in materials technology wood. It's used for pulling nails or for cutting wire. Question 5. CAM. What do those letters stand for? These letters stand for computer aided or assisted manufacturing or machining. Okay, so computer aided machining. Give one advantage of using CAM to generate a prototype. It's a very accurate way of doing it, and it's a very quick way of doing it. Question 6. The board shown has become distorted across its width. What is this distortion called? You can see by the shape of it, it's cupping. What causes a board to distort in this way? Poor stacking or poor conversion or seasoning. So the conversion type probably would have been through and through sawing. Question 7. Identify 5 steps in the correct sequence which should be followed when surface finishing this artifact. Okay, the first thing you'd always do is you would remove any marks, so pencil marks. Second thing is fill indents using a filler, and then third step is to sand it. Okay, once you've sanded it, you dust it down, and then finally you apply white spirits before applying your finish. The diagram shows the tip of a chisel. What are the correct names of the angles labelled A and B? Okay, angle A is the grinding angle, which would normally be between 20 and 25 degrees, and angle B is the sharpening angle, which would be between 25 and 30 degrees. Question 9. Identify the leaves. Okay, so we have the name of them here. So the first one is a sycamore, second one is a holly, third one is beech, fourth one is poplar, and the final one is a horse chestnut. Question 10. What is this method of wood preparation called? It's called veneer cutting. Okay, so the block rotates, and as it rotates, a thin veneer is sliced away from the block. Give one use for the thin layer of wood. Okay, you're going to be using it for veneering. Okay, it's for decorative work. Name the tool shown. That's what we call a G-clamp. State one appropriate use for this tool. It's used for holding pieces when gluing. Okay, when we're wiring a plug, it's very important to state the correct color for each wire. Okay, live will always be brown, neutral blue, and earth will always be the green and yellow. What is the function of the fuse in a plug? The function is it's a safety feature in case of an overload. Question 13. What's this tool known as? It's a strip heater. Okay, use a tick in the appropriate box below to indicate if acrylic is thermosetting or thermoplastic. Okay, acrylic is a thermoplastic. Calculate the moisture content as a percentage of a piece of seasoned wood given the following: wet weight, dry weight. Okay, so when you're doing the calculation, the formula that we use is wet weight minus dry weight divided by dry weight multiplied by 100/1 is the moisture content. Okay, so multiplying by 100/1 is creating a percentage of it. Okay, so wet weight is 21.6 minus dry weight, which is 20, divided by dry weight, which is 20. multiplied by 100 over 1. So 21.6 minus 20 gives me 1.6. Divide 1.6 by 20 and multiply that by 100, which is equal to 8%. You could use your calculator for doing that. Question 15. What sort of a tool is this? Or what sort of a machine is this, should I say? That's what we call a bandsaw. Okay, what is the function of the part labeled A? So at the top here you have a twisting mechanism, and that the use of that is to tension the blade. Okay, so tensioning of the blade. State one specific safety precaution that should be observed when using this machine. First of all, you'll always wear your PPE, so personal protective equipment, and adjust the guard height to suit. So this guard here can be moved up and down, so you want that to be as low down as possible to expose as little of the blade as possible when using it. Question 16. The diagram shows a cordless drill being used by a student to insert the screw. What is the correct name for the turning force being applied by the drill to the screw? So it's twisting. So twisting is always torsion. Name one other type of force. So an example of a force would be compression, tension, shear, any of the ones you would have learned before. Question 17. Okay, the graphic below shows a dovetail halving joint. Sketch the marking out of both parts of the joint on the piece of wood on the right. So I've done that, pre-done that there. So you're marking out your piece. So it's a T dovetail halving joint. So basically what we want to do is we want to get the end here in a dovetail, and then your trench in the shape of a dovetail, so that this piece will fit into that. Okay, using a tick in the table below, identify whether each tree is hardwood or softwood. Okay, so birch is a hardwood, cedar is a softwood, Norway spruce is a softwood, larch is a softwood, and willow is a hardwood. Question 19. This is a lathe, so we want to identify the various parts of the lathe. Okay, so part A here, which is rigid, doesn't adjust in and out, that's the main part of it, is the headstock. Part B here is your tool rest, that's where your gouge will sit on top. Part C is your tailstock. Okay, so you always have the headstock and the tailstock. The tailstock is adjustable left and right. Then D is the bed, so the tailstock sits on that bed and slides in and out, as does the tool rest. And then finally here you have your on-off switch, labelled by E. Right, question 20. Okay, so here we have a drawing, the working drawings of a table. Okay, so you have your elevation and your end view. What we now need to do is we need to look here at our cutting list for all the different parts. Okay, so we need to identify the vertical sides. We're missing a length here, and this grey shaded box here. So there's two sides, which is the quantity. The length of it is, we want to go from top to bottom, so 244 plus the 100, which gives me 344. Okay, the next one missing here is the length of the bottom horizontal rail. So this here is the bottom horizontal rail, so it's the overall length from the far left to the far right, and that is a total length of 850. The next one then is our wedge. So our wedge is this piece here, which slides in, which wedges the horizontal rail in place with the two uprights. So that wedge is a total length of 60. Okay, it's a width of 12 and a thickness of 10. Okay, then our finally brass screws. We want to see how many we're going to be using. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 visible here, but you need them on the other side as well. So we need a total of 8 of them. Okay, and that is your 2019 higher level question completed.